Hello, my friend. Start today's presentation on intercultural communication and the global workplace. My name is James Byrd. I'll be giving this presentation, and it is put forth from Media E-Class. Meta E-Class. Welcome to our discussion on intercultural communication and global workplace, as presented by James Byrd, MBA. In this segment, we'll explore the importance of effective communication across different cultures in today's interconnected world. Firstly, let's consider the significance of intercultural communication. As businesses expand globally, understanding how to communicate across cultural boundaries becomes crucial. The skill isn't just about language, it's about appreciating diverse cultural perspectives and adapting our communication styles accordingly. Secondly, cultural differences can profoundly influence how we learn and collaborate within an organization. Recognizing these differences allows us to foster a more inclusive and productive work environment. When we embrace cultural diversity, we open the door to innovative ideas and solutions. Throwing it across the wall. Lastly, developing cultural intelligence essentially is essential, that is, for any organization looking to thrive in global, or should I say, thrive in the global e- economy. Investing in understanding and respecting cultural nuances, we equip ourselves to navigate complex international landscapes more effectively. Gotta be good at it. Come out with successful conclusions or solutions. And in this slide, we'll explain the abstract, which involves intercultural communications, is somewhat essential in today's global economy. Cultural differences, as it stands, influence communication and leadership. Organizations must develop cultural intelligence, CQ. Intercultural communication plays a pivotal role in the success of business in our increasingly interconnected world. stated, organizations operate across various cultures. It's crucial to understand how cultural differences shape communication styles and leadership approaches. This understanding can greatly enhance collaboration and innovation. I emphasize the next point that to navigate these challenges, organizations need to invest in developing cultural intelligence among their teams. This means not only being aware of cultural differences, but also actively adapting to them in meaningful ways. By fostering cultural intelligence, companies can improve their global interactions and drive sustainable success in competitive global economy. Again, by fostering cultural intelligence, companies can improve their global interactions and drive sustainable success in the competitive global economy. In the world of cultural intelligence. Now to set the stage for this presentation with an introduction. Globalization has created multicultural workplaces. Managers interact across cultures daily. It's called the United States. No set, one set pattern. Multicultural. Understanding that reduce productivity. So one might inadvertently throw a wrench into the mechanism, stop the press. About it, globalizations has transformed the workplace to a vibrant tapestry of cultures, and this diversity presents more exciting opportunities and unique challenges. As managers, our daily interactions often span across various cultural backgrounds. This reality makes intercultural communications an essential skill. Learn how to deal with it in a fashionable way. That is, it's crucial to understand that while these interactions can lead to rich, innovative collaborations, it can also result in misunderstandings. Misunderstandings that, not addressed, can hinder productivity and the effectiveness of our teams throughout the task. Therefore, fostering an environment that respects and understands cultural nuances is not just beneficial is necessary for maintaining efficiency and harmony within the workplace. Cultural dimensions. That's cultural dimensions. Some of the basic problems, those subtle, cannot be identified by the uninformed. The power distance, uncertainty, avoidance, individualism versus collectivism. It's a very destructive mechanism within the confines of team and teamwork. We have masculinity versus femininity. Femininity. That too be destructive to productivity, attacking personalities. Cultural dimensions are somewhat important concepts that help us understand how different societies operate, interact. Let's leave it to four key cultural dimensions that shape workplace interaction. First, as power distance. This dimension reflects how a culture handles inequalities and distribution of power. The power distance. In high power distance cultures, hierarchical structures are accepted, and authority, is rarely questioned. It's a lot of control at the top, without question. In contrast, low power distance cultures value equality and encourage open communications between all levels of organization. That's the open door policy, which is the normal norm in the organization. Open door as opposed to not questioning authority, polar opposite. Next is uncertainty avoidance. This dimension indicates how comfortable a culture is with ambiguity and uncertainty. Cultures with high uncertainty avoidance prefer clear rules and structured environments, while those with low uncertainty avoidance are more flexible and open to new ideas. Unstructured, fickle, somewhat fickle. Rules change moment to moment, good or bad. Now, let's look at individualism versus collectivism. Individualistic cultures prioritize personal goals and individual rights, while collectivist cultures emphasize group harmony. like herd mentality. Hit it right off the cliff with a pad. It's group harmony and collective well-being, escaping the threat. Find a threat cause herd suicide with right off the cliff, moving in the wrong direction. It's collective well-being. This difference can significantly impact team dynamics and decision-making processes. Just talking about the herd mentality. Finally, we have masculinity versus femininity. This dimension explores the distribution of roles between gender, gender. That is. Masculine cultures value competitiveness and assertiveness, whereas feminine cultures prioritize caring and cooperation. Accommodating. Understanding these dimensions can help us navigate cultural differences and more effectively and should I say navigate cultural differences more effectively and foster a more inclusive and productive work environment. Yet, since these subtle dynamics, be aware of them, very subtle. All that is talking about very complex situation. Be high versus low context cultures. Very complex it is to me. All the high context, indirect, relationship based. It's an assumption. Low context, direct, task based. We'll talk about it. Get the complete rundown. So we're talking in low context. High context, it's an assumption. High and low context cultures play a significant role in how we communicate, interact in multicultural workplaces. In high context cultures, communication relies heavily on the underlying context, relationships, and nonverbal cues, which are assumptions. This means that most of the message is implicit. It's a norm and must be followed. And understanding nuisance is crucial. Relationships are prioritized. It's an assumption. And communication tend to be more indirect, not specific. Specifically, what are we doing? On the other hand, low context cultures, a lot of talking involved, emphasize direct communication. What are we doing? message is explicitly stated. What are we doing? And the focus is on tasks and objectivity. Less reliance on the surrounding environment or relationships to convey the meaning. In the grocery store, what are you doing? Not picking up things, well, shopping. That's what we're doing. High contextual means into what other things as well, out of context. Understanding these differences can help managers improve communications, reduce misunderstandings, last chance, and enhance productivity in multicultural settings. Recognizing whether you are engaging with a high or low context culture allows you to adapt your communication style accordingly. Almost through the low context, foster better collaboration and efficiency. Smile with it. What does smile mean? That's within context. Masculine, should we say gender roles, as it applies to cultural differences. Masculine cultures, that equates to competition. Female cultures and cooperation, accommodating. Managers must adapt one or the other. It's not bad. Depends on when and where to apply them. In this slide, we're diving into the concept of gender roles in different cultural contexts. Let's first explore the difference between masculine and female or feminine culture. The masculine cultures, the emphasis is on competition and achievement. These cultures typically value assertiveness and success-driven behaviors, which are seen as key to personal and organizational growth. To them, that is, it's not bad or good. On the other hand, feminine cultures prioritize cooperation and nurturing, it's accommodating. Here, the focus is on building relationships, fostering a supportive environment, highlighting the importance of quality of life and consensus, and accommodating. As managers, it is crucial to adapt your leadership approach depending on the cultural context you're working in. Understanding these gender roles dynamics help you lead more effectively and foster an inclusive workplace. Co- Collectivism versus individualism. Collectivism is group focus, herd mentality. Individualism, personal growth. One tiger. You ever heard of a herd of tigers? Only one. Let's dive into the concept of collectivism versus individualism, which is crucial to understanding cultural dynamics. It's the way they are shaped from the beginning. Don't try to change that. Work with it. Adapt to it. Collectivism emphasizes a group focused approach. It's the herd mentality. In collectivism, cultures, individuals see themselves as part of a larger community, prioritizing group goals over personal desires. This often translates into strong family bonds and community ties where decisions are made with collective interests in mind. On the other hand, individualism highlights personal achievements and independence in individualistic cultures. People are encouraged to stand out, pursue personal goals, and value self-reliance. This can foster innovation, personal accountability, opposed to the herd mentality, which entails suffering the consequences of what someone else in the herd said to cause the herd to run off the cliff, moving in the wrong direction about situations. And success within the individualistic cultures often measured by personal accomplishments. It's personal accomplishment, not group accomplishments, which is another form of collusion. Understanding these cultural dimensions can significantly impact how we interact and work with people with different backgrounds. You want to do it? Let them do it. You want to engage with the audience by asking, please comment, or how you think of, or give an example from your own experiences related to what we just talked about. Please comment. Now, let's talk about ethnocentrism versus that of ethnocentrism. Relativism. Ethnocentrism, cultural superiority. It's related to being uh, one culture thinking that they're superior to some other culture in a distant, far off and distant place. Now they're in the workplace thinking that ethno-relativism is what we want to work on. Cultural respect, all related, should be moving in the same direction. About the number five, one head, two arms, and two legs. It's five. All of a human being. Animals have tails. But move away from ethnocentrism, cultural superiority, one over the other. Ethnocentrism and ethno-relativism are two contrasting viewpoints when it comes to understanding and valuing different cultures. It's understanding and valuing different cultures. Let's explore these terms in more detail. Ethnocentrism is the belief that one's own culture is superior to the other, as I had stated. This mindset can lead to misunderstanding and conflict as it tends to judge other cultures by the standards of one's own in a far and distant place. But now they're near. Check out. Uh, on the other hand, ethno-relativism promotes the idea of cultural respect and understanding. To do your research, still have one head, two arms, two legs. But with that, this perspective encourages us to appreciate cultural diversity and foster a more inclusive environment. With chopsticks, still consuming no matter what. Moving from an ethnocentric view to ethno-related approach, we open the door to more effective communication, collaboration, and again, collaboration across different cultures. Everyone is all inclusive. Workplace challenges, language barriers, miscommunications, cultural misunderstandings. Today's focus is on the challenges that we often encounter in multicultural workplaces. Three primary challenges we'll explore are large barriers, should I say language barriers, miscommunication, and cultural misunderstandings, which is cultural misunderstanding. Lead a larger picture in my mind as going into the military. It's like going to the land of the giants to me. I never seen or been around things people touching. My parents, I never seen them do that except through a keyhole. Mom in her room, dad at his. Just public affection is just one of the things I had to learn. Leaving home to the military, the sweat follows, all those things. Bad in my mind, but we're talking about cultural misunderstandings. It start out that way. Now they're first, there's the language barriers, which can be a significant obstacle when team members speak different languages. It can lead to misunderstanding, lack of clarity in communications. I didn't know people do that. It's important to encourage open dialogue and use tools or resources to aid in translation when needed. How many of you have experienced a situation where a language barrier led to a misunderstanding? Next, miscommunication doesn't just arise from language differences. It can also stem from different communication styles. For example, some cultures may prioritize direct communication, while others might value a more indirect approach. Recognizing and adapting to these differences can help bridge gaps, makes life much easier. Lastly, cultural misunderstandings can occur when there's a lack of awareness about cultural norms and practices. Yeah, be like me, I didn't know people do that. These misunderstandings can lead to feelings of disrespect or exclusion not addressed properly. Don't be petrified by the wallflower. I didn't know people do that. It's crucial to foster an environment where cultural awareness is prioritized and team members feel comfortable sharing their cultural insights. Start by collaborating, asking questions. Why people do that? It start out that way. Let's commit to being more aware of these challenges and work together to create a more inclusive, understanding workplace. Workplace aggression. Cultural differences may cause conflict. I didn't know people do that. Managers must understand boundaries. Look out for the individual who refuse to join the collective just because. Proximity, that is. Workplace aggression. Cultural differences may cause conflict. Some entities not fully explained, brought to the forefront, not letting it drag on into sublimity. And they just must understand boundaries. Workplace aggression can often stem from cultural differences, cultural norms, creative potential conflicts that could disrupt productivity and harmony within the team. Word team means just that. The team. It is crucial for managers to recognize and understand these cultural boundaries to effectively address and mitigate such issues. Understand all elements related to cultural boundaries. One key point to emphasize is the importance of awareness. Managers should be aware of cultural differences that manifest, or should I say, managers should be aware of how cultural differences can manifest as misunderstandings or perceived aggressions. Not mad, just don't know about that. It's not a good thing. This awareness is the first step towards fostering a more inclusive and respectful workplace environment. In some cultures, it's normal to do that. Showing public affection. Another essential aspect is the role of communication, encouraging open dialogue about cultural norms and expectations can help bridge gaps and prevent conflicts. Operate against your personal norms. That is, managers need to create a safe space where team members feel comfortable discussing these differences. Talk about what you don't like. Finally, it's important to note that understanding these dynamics not only help in conflict resolution, but also enhances team cohesion, and inclusivity. By proactively addressing cultural differences, managers can turn potential challenges into opportunities for growth and collaboration. The needed more productivity, not stagnation. That long lines, and stagnation. That means no one gets nowhere real fast due to outside forces hindering productivity. KDC. Intercultural training. It aims to teach communication styles, avoid stereotypes, use as a guideline only, not a rule set in stone. The cultural training is essential in today's diverse workplaces. Focuses on teaching effective communication styles that respect and acknowledge cultural differences. Set rules is adapted. We go forward and blend. The goal here is to guide employees and managers alike recognizing and adapting to various communication norms without falling into the trap of stereotyping. Stay true to individualistic norms moving forward. Individual stereotypes can be limited and damaging personality. So it's crucial to approach intercultural interactions with an open mind and flexibility, or be agile with it. And emphasize the point that instead of seeing cultural norms as fixed rules, think of them as guidelines that can help navigate diverse interactions more successfully. This approach fosters a more inclusive, harmonious workplace environment. Smile with it. Think of this. By embracing intercultural training, we can create a workplace where everyone feels valued and understood. It's just that I didn't know people do that. Language learning, talking art, multilingual skills, improve communication, in college, or just take it as a hobby. better communicate with people in close proximity. Spanish is important in the United States because, as we know, all the settlement was settled by the Spanish. And the conquistadors did a lot of widespread teaching of Spanish to the Native Americans and settlers in St. Augustine. They changed hands from Spanish to English, predominantly United States, but the people never went any place. They're still in that same settlement, which is predominantly Latino, Spanish people, or Hispanic, Spanish people, Spanish speaking people. And again, pursuing my AA degree in Florida, you have to have Spanish is mandatory in order to get that degree. AA in Florida, you must know Spanish. And it's a no-brainer. Now, the language learning is a crucial component of fostering effective communication in our increasingly interconnected world. Settlers in St. Augustine, older city, still there, doesn't change. Let's, should I say first, let's discuss how multilingual skills can significantly enhance communication. Although you don't speak it, you know what the conversation and where the conversation is going without ever speaking it. Must know in order to get the AA degree. And by speaking multiple languages, individuals can bridge cultural divides and facilitate clear and more meaningful interactions. What it said, the skill not only helps in personal growth, but also in professional settings where diverse teams collaborate. Now, let's focus on the importance of Spanish in the U.S. Spanish is not just a valuable skill, it's necessary in many sectors, such as Florida, with growing Spanish-speaking population, which from one of my papers I've introduced by looking at the census, current census way back 2013, there's an increasing numbers of Hispanic people included in the census report. That'll be for Florida, Texas, California. That's the politicians. And again, being able to communicate in Spanish opens up opportunities for both personal connections and business growth. It allows for better customer service and inclusive community engagement and a competitive edge in the job market. encourage your audience to reflect on, on their own language learning experiences. So at one job, I learned a little bit Spasibo, it's Russian. Remember, it's all about language learning. It's not just about words. It's about connecting with people and cultures, making our world a little smaller and our communities a little more united. All sorts of things out there. But we're talking about proximity. Spanish is important in some sectors of the United States. As you move forward to the north borders, we're talking French and English. To the south, Spanish. No one can stop that. It's an increasing number, as I said. One of my energy papers increase in California, Texas, and Florida, the Hispanic community. That was in my census report, in my paper. Now then, let's talk about cultural intelligence. It's knowledge, awareness, adaptability. You don't know, you don't know. But just because you don't speak Spanish don't mean that, for instance, one guy in the army, when I was in the army, he never spoke English. In Puerto Rico, only Spanish. That's a part of America where you need to know Spanish. Puerto Rico, once more, cultural intelligence. That's understanding knowledge, awareness, adaptability. When we discuss cultural intelligence, we are referring to the essential components of knowledge, awareness, and adaptability. These components are crucial for navigating the complexities of today's interconnected world, global, about globalization. Knowledge involves understanding diverse cultural norms, values, practices that influence how people from different backgrounds communicate and interact. Take, for instance, the Philippines. It's way much older than the United States. There are group norms there that's much different from complexities, temporizations of the United States. The contextual meaning of each place is different. This understanding helps to bridge gaps, foster mutual respect, respect that is much older. Awareness refers to self-reflective aspect cultural intelligence. It's cultural intelligence. Much older. It's about recognizing one's own cultural biases and assumptions. It is again assumption. Assume that we know that and how these can affect interactions with others. Being aware of these biases, individuals can approach intercultural situations with greater sensitivity and openness as an individual, not the herd mentality, somewhat taking everything as in common with one and then the other. Adaptability is the ability to adjust one's behavior and communication styles to effectively engage with people from very varied cultural backgrounds. Therefore, this flexibility is vital in overcoming misunderstanding, somewhat build successful relationship in a multicultural environment, workplace you're at. Together, these components enable individuals and organizations to somewhat function more effectively in diverse settings, enhancing collaboration, fostering an inclusive atmosphere. Well, St. Augustine to now be just like surrounding hospitalities. Same thing. As the goal, as the global workplace continues to evolve, cultural intelligence will be a key competency for personal and professional growth. We move toward the conclusion of this presentation. Future of global workplace. Remote work is increasing. Global collaboration is rising. As we look to the future of global workplace, we're seeing some significant shifts. The rise of remote work is one of the most notable changes. This trend allows companies to tap to a diverse talent pool from around the world, breaking down geographical barriers and promoting inclusivity. The other key trend is the increase in global collaboration. Teams are now more diverse than ever, working across different time zones and cultures. This due to the internet. This diversity can lead to richer ideas and more innovative solutions, but it also requires strong intercultural communication skills navigate the complexities involved. So complexities in the United States emphasize the following point. These changes highlight the importance of adaptability as the workplace becomes more globalized. Adapting to new ways of working, embracing cultural differences will be essential for success. I told you our study of the census report, we got an uptick in Hispanics in Florida, Texas, and California. That's due to the southern borders. We're not going to control that by being unobjective about the situation. I'll conclude this slide with confidence and to be more accommodating. We don't want to come to terms as if few against many. As I do know, Spanish is mandatory when pursuing an AA degree in Florida, state of Florida. Jesus spoke Latin. So we started moving that direction again. Conquistadors. Now, as we wrap up, or should I say the conclusion, talking about intercultural communication is essential as a convergence. Organization must adapt to succeed. Don't be putting up barriers to a natural phenomenon. Again, with the conclusion, I want to once again reiterate on intercultural communication is essential. I said Florida, Texas, California. Organization must adapt to succeed. As we wrap up our discussion, let's focus on essential takeaways. Intercultural communication is not just a skill, but is necessary in today's dynamic global environment. Said was increasing, adapt, and adopt successful changes, workable changes, not be disrupted. It's the bridge that connects diverse teams and drives innovation. It's a lot of bananas. For organizations to thrive, they must be proactive and adapting to these intercultural dynamics. We're not agrarian nations, agriculture, what we're talking. This means fostering an inclusive culture that values diverse perspectives and encourages collaboration across borders. Yet, northern borders are specifically southern borders. Eastern borders, there's a great divide. People not just crossing the borders, which is the Atlantic Ocean. That's the great divide of the Pacific Ocean. That would be to the east, west meets east. Most mainly, again, paper emphasizes uptick, Florida, Texas, California. Remember, success of global organizations hinges on their ability to communicate effectively across cultures. Let's commit to being champions of this change moving forward. References. See, Highness through 2011, HR Magazine, it's a hiring element, 2008, HR, did you notice? See, Al took 2011, see, Irani and Oswald, 2009, it's Irani and Oswald. You look at that, references supporting our discussion. These are this slide, which is last in the presentation, is a reference that back the key points we've covered, forming the foundation of our understanding of evolving global workplace. What we're talking about with this paper. Now then, some of the key references. Highness 2011 provides valuable insights into effective communication strategy essential for remote intercultural work environments. HR Magazine 2008 highlights the trend in human resources that are shaping the future of global collaboration. Alter 2011 further examines the dynamics of organization adaptation in a rapidly changing world. Now then, lastly, Irani and Oswald 2009 explore the technological advancements that facilitate global teamwork. These references emphasize the necessity of remaining informed and adaptable in our strategies moving forward. I want to encourage questions or comments. Feel free to leap into these references, deeper understanding of the topic we discuss. Please subscribe to this channel. Thank you for your undivided attention today.